Hello everybody, welcome back to another update here for the Pokemon Emerald Battle Frontier. As you can tell from the thumbnail, we got another silver medal and a new member for our team. So we're going to start off here with the silver medal. We took on the Battle Pike, which personally I really do not enjoy the Battle Pike. It was just really weird and awkward, and kind of seemed like the strategy was kind of just guess the entire time. Even with some of the hints that you get from the maiden, it kind of seemed a little bit like there was really no strategy, but I guess that's why they call it the luck symbol. But anyways, if you're unfamiliar with the Battle Pike, what happens is you have an option of 3 rooms, and the maid will tell you a certain phrase for each room. Personally, I always tried to go into the room that had the wild Pokemon in it. Now, the reason for this was because if you go into the room with wild Pokemon, you're able to preserve your Pokemon a lot better. Specifically, you'll preserve the moves, the HP, so on and so forth. And you want to do this because you'll eventually face a very strong trainer like the one that we're facing right now. This trainer ended up giving me a little bit of trouble, as you'll see here, and it was mainly from this Sand Slash. And as you can see, it got a Quick Claw proc off of my Starmie. So I was really confused at first. I was like, how is this Sand Slash faster? So I checked my Blaziken speed, and I was thinking, oh, I'll be put into Blaze, but after I tagged and everything, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, Quick Claw. So basically this was a Registeel kind of come in and fix our problem battle. He came in, toxic to the Sand Slash, and this is basically what he does. I know we saw it a little bit in the last video with the Ludicolo, but this is, you know, a more realistic scenario where he comes in when we're really down. It just kind of cleans up a lot of the battles here. Luckily, the final Pokemon for this trainer was a Wartortle, and the AI usually starts off with Protect whenever they send out Squirtle, Wartortle, or Blastoise. Specifically, Squirtle and Wartortle is the ones they protect with the most. So, in the end here, you know, we just kind of Toxic and Seismic Toss the Wartortle because, again, Registeel has a 400 special defense stat, so it is not going to be taken down by a special attacker. So, talk a little bit while we're stalling the Wartortle. Talk a little bit about why we decided to add another team member. I'll make it brief for this part because there will be a whole section on Milotic, but there are certain facilities here in the Battle Frontier that realistically my team does not match up well against. So just having more diverse Pokemon will definitely help. So after we defeated that strong trainer, I kind of forgot that they healed your Pokemon, so that was super helpful that it does heal you after fighting that stronger trainer. Sorry. So, you know, we had Blaziken, we had Starmie back, and yeah, we just had this one double battle, and this was really interesting. I didn't realize that Focus Band can proc twice. I'm not sure if that's just because it was on the same turn or what, but that was pretty interesting. Back to this double battle, we have the I'm not sure exactly what she's called, but we have Lucy, the person that gives you the symbol when you beat her. So yeah, she starts off with a Viper, and this is really easy for Blaziken because it's just a Earthquake Fest. Of course, we have another instance of the Quick Claw going against us, but it doesn't matter too much. Blaziken did its job, and next up is Milotic. Again, this is kind of just, you know, chip damage. It did a lot more than I expected. And now we send in Registeel, and Registeel actually takes on the rest of this team. Again, this kind of shows the power of Registeel. I didn't go for Toxic here on the Milotic just because in case something happens to Registeel, I don't want to have to deal with Marvel Scale. But Registeel took out the Milotic, and this is the reason why Registeel really does well, is because this Shuckle causes problems for a lot of people, but it cannot touch a Steel type Pokemon. So if you have a Steel type Pokemon, you can basically just destroy this Shuckle. It has no moves that can touch you. It has Protect, Sandstorm, Toxic, and Rest. So realistically, you could bring in like a level 1 Magnemite and just PP stall it the entire time. And yeah. I mean, I don't recommend that because, you know, Struggle will probably kill you first, but having any sort of Steel type, you know, Steelix, Magneton, Registeel, what else? Scizor, Fortress, any of those will do. I personally use Registeel just because you can have Seismic Toss on it. But yeah, that was the Silver Medal, and now we'll head over to the Milotic part of the video. So now when it came to Milotic, the way I actually got this Milotic was again through RNG manipulation and a glitch through the Ruby and Sapphire Battle Tower. So starting off with the glitch, actually, in Ruby and Sapphire there is a roamer glitch where you're able to catch other people's Pokemon, and the trainers in the battle tower, you're actually able to keep those Pokemon. If you lose like a trainer battle to say like an Elite Four member or something, when you go to catch the Pokemon it turns into a bad egg, but the Pokemon that you catch from the battle tower actually remain Pokemon and you're able to use them. And because the battle tower has perfect IV Pokemon, there are Pokemon in there with 6 IVs and are EV trained and everything. Now if you're using this to actually like keep those Pokemon and use them on your team, just know if you ever try to put your streaks on the Battle Frontier website or discussion boards on Smogon, you're actually not allowed to do that. The glitch is allowed to obtain any of the Latios or Latias because the IVs are glitched, but if you try to use any other Pokemon it's actually not allowed. But what I did was I caught a Milotic with 6 IVs, and then I used one of my Dittos that I had that was 31 IVs in special defense, and I bred for one that had 31 IVs in defense, HP, and special defense. So again, I'm not sure if this Milotic would necessarily be legitimate for trying to post a streak on the Smogon discussion boards, but I don't really plan to do that anyways. This is just for my own enjoyment, so I'm not really worried about that. Now when it came to the shininess of the Milotic, when you're trying to get high IVs and shininess is going to be very, very difficult. So that's why the IVs are only perfect in HP, defense, and special defense, even though it's a 6 IV Milotic I'm using. The special attack is 29, and I'm not sure about the speed or attack, but those really don't matter for the purpose of Milotic. I do plan to make a video on RNG manipulating in Ruby and Sapphire because it is a bit easier to RNG manipulate eggs in Ruby and Sapphire compared to Emerald, in my opinion. Of course, there are many videos already online about RNG manipulating eggs. Of course, you should check out I'm a Blissey. They have multiple videos on Gen 3 RNG manipulation, including eggs in both Ruby and Sapphire and in Emerald. Now, when it came to Ruby and Sapphire, you don't have the ability to use Magma Armor or Flame Body, and the route is modified to where you don't have a very long strip to just completely hatch the egg, so hatching is a bit of a pain. The way that I was able to mitigate a lot of the time around this was, instead of going in checking to see if I got it correct or not, I had a save file where it was right before I did any of the RNG manipulating, and then once I bred for the egg and got it, I uploaded the save file and checked to see if it was the right one. If not, I reloaded the old save file right before the RNG manipulation and went from there. It took me about 2 attempts and I was able to actually get it, so it was really quick. And yeah, next up is just showing the berry blending and all that stuff with the berry master, leveling it up, and then the EV training. The EVs for the Milotic is actually pretty simple. It's 252 in HP, 252 in defense, and 4 in special attack. Very standard for a Milotic, as well as bold nature. The moves I gave it is Toxic, Recover, Surf, and Attract. Usually instead of Attract, you have Ice Beam, but I decided to try something different. Like I said, this Pokemon is meant for a specific facility, so once that facility comes up, once I make a video on that, you'll see the other members of the team that I'm making, because they're all bred with specific natures and specific IVs to take on that battle facility. Anybody who has been in the battle frontier for long enough kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to using different Pokemon for different uses for different facilities. Obviously, per tradition, I took it over to the woman in Slateport to get the effort ribbon to show that it was fully EV trained, and then just leveled it up with the rare candy glitch. And of course, you know, I'm going to show the stats and everything because it has perfect HP, perfect defense, and the special defense actually isn't perfect because I didn't EV train in it, but as you can see, it's still very high. Very good Pokemon, and I'm very happy with it. It's actually a Pokemon I never thought I would ever have, especially in Generation 3, so I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, I'm going to be having a couple more Pokemon that I train for this specific facility, and I'll try to put that all in one video once I get the silver medal. There's a couple ideas I have, and a lot of the time I say these Pokemon aren't necessarily good for other facilities, but I think it'll be very good in this facility. I want to try to make a lot of these videos a little bit longer with more stuff in them. I don't want to just be posting every single time I get a medal or breed a new Pokemon. I think maybe starting to combine the two will make the videos a bit better, a bit more entertaining. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.